All right, so question and answer session. So let's kind of establish some kind of mental bridge here through the screen. And okay, first question. Why is he wearing a mask? What's that all about? Okay, I'm going to be talking about things that the ancients used to call fundamental truth, reality, how things operate. You can't talk about these things in today's society without upsetting somebody. You can't walk out to your front porch and say, oh, look at that, the sky, it's got those white things in there, without pissing someone off. Now, these groups of people who like to get pissed off about any and everything on earth, they like to go after people. They like to get people fired from their job. Now, I like my job. I'm really good at it. No surprise. Now, if I want to continue to have that job that I'm really good at, I need to have some kind of disconnect between what I'm giving you here and what I'm doing out there. So I kind of need an alter ego, so to speak. Now, the mask, it's simply a part of it. It kind of keeps me safe from you. Next question, what do we got? Okay, it's more of a statement, but we'll address it. This guy kind of sounds familiar. Yeah, isn't that? No, he doesn't sound familiar. You've never met me before. And if you have, if you know my real world identity, all I can say to you is this. If you know who I am out in the real world, don't talk about it. Don't tell your family, don't tell your friends, don't tell your dentist, don't tell your proctologist. Hopefully that conversation is not occurring at the same time because that'd be horribly disgusting and awkward. Don't go on Facebook or Twitter, none of these social media sites. Don't talk about it. Just leave it alone. I don't want to be chased around the country by the NSA, the CIA, the BVD police, whatever acronym agencies out there because I said something that upset someone. All right, just don't. Leave it alone. Next question. What do we got? Ooh, get the feeling this one's going to be a rough one. Yep, it's a rough one. He uses offensive and objectionable language. What's up with that? Yes, sometimes I'm going to use offensive and objectionable language. You'll learn to deal with it. See, my thought is, and my sponsor fully agrees, that honesty is the best policy in all things. So, if you have someone out there who's taking a turd, putting it between two slices of bread, trying to sell it to other people as alternative cuisine, you can bet your buns I'm going to call it for what it is. A shit sandwich. Painting a rosy picture over a situation that's horribly disgusting is the absolute worst thing you can do on this planet. Because what that manages to do is it manages to convince people to do nothing about it. To just take a new situation, paint over the top of it, and slide it under the rug. We don't have to deal with it now. Now you got another situation. Now you can just paint over the top of that and slide that one under the rug. Now you've got child molestation. In which case these Picassos bust out their paints and their paintbrushes are going over the top of this saying, oh, no, 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 no. Don't see it as a larger person and a stronger person victimizing a weaker, smaller person. Sexually victimizing them. Don't think about it like that. Think about it like this. Molesters themselves were probably victimized. So really it's kind of a struggle to overcome their dark past. And now we've sufficiently painted over the top of that, we can just slide that under the rug. Because now we've gotten people in the habit of accepting that inaction is the best method of dealing with all these situations. Don't address it, ignore it, run away from it, have someone else deal with it. Now, these problems, they don't go away. They're still underneath that rug. And now, that whole pile is 67 stories tall and it feeds on human misery. Now, at some point, you have to say, no, this is wrong. This is evil. This is negatively affecting the people around me. This is negatively impacting the greater realm of life. This cannot happen. I will draw a line in the sand, and this is where I'll make my stand, because some things are worth fighting for, and some things are worth fighting and dying for. So we're going to address this head on. If you want to make it past me, you're going to have to go through me. And once you can get people in this mindset of saying, dude, we have to face this head on. We have to address this as it is. Then you can start tackling these issues. And suddenly this pile of problems, it gets smaller and smaller. And now we can address this on a one-on-one basis. So if I'm using offensive and objectionable language, it's because the situation is offensive and objectionable by its very nature. It's time for us to look at things as they are, not as you'd like for them to be. So this is where it's going to start, by being honest. And if you don't like my language, tough shit. Move somewhere else. That was pretty rough. All right, what else we got? Why has he disabled comments on his page or channel? Doesn't he care what we think? No, I don't care what you think. These videos are going to generate one of three responses. You either agree with me, you disagree with me, or you're not here for what I'm tossing out. In which case, if you agree with me, that's great. That's fantastic. Because that means there are people out there who kind of see the world in kind of a similar situation that I do. That there are problems out there that have to be addressed. And that solutions need to be generated to these issues. We need to fix this stuff. That action is required. Not more words. Because if I were just content with words, then I'd be a politician. So keep your words to yourself. If you want to show that you're really interested in this, if you want to show that you care, that you want to take action, go down to the bottom where it says fund me or fund this, I don't know, author or whatever, or go to the WordPress account and go do the donate button because maybe you don't like Google Wallet, whatever. I don't need your words of encouragement. I'm doing this because I know there's a problem. I see that there are massive consequences for all this inaction that we're apparently doing, and that this has to be taken care of. I'm under contract at this point. So this is why I'm doing it, not because of you. If it affects you in a positive way, great. Other than that, I don't care. I don't need your words to keep me going on this. If you disagree with me, you're going to want to take one of two actions. You're going to want to send me death threats, or you're going to want to rehash old arguments to try to prove that I'm wrong. If you want to send me death threats, you're cute. But you're going to have to go to the back of the line at this point, and it's about a mile long, so take a number, jackass. Now, if you want to rehash old arguments to try to prove that I'm wrong, I'm not. You're wasting your time attempting this. And more importantly, far more importantly, is that you're wasting my time by forcing me to deal with this. Because I've done something your enemies have not. I have given you the opportunity to prove your position, to support it, to convince me to join your side. I've listened to everything you've got, and I've been doing this for the past 25 years. So, here's what I end up getting, in a nutshell. But dude, you just gotta think about it like this. It's a good thing. Why is it a good thing? Well, because, we're all important. But we're not all important. The majority of people on this planet aren't important. That's just a fact. And if you really step back, if you take a distance view of everything, we're really just dust motes on the crack of the Earth's ass. So, there's a flaw in your logic here. But, we just got to come together for solidarity. We can be part of something great. We're part of something great already. It's called life. And you're destroying it with this position. How can you not see this? Are you not thinking about what's going on? Better yet, you know what? There is another two groups out there who just get together to be part of something important without thinking of the consequences. You know what they are? They're called cults and lemmings. And what do you know? It always seems that once these two groups of people get together, at the end of their road, there's always mass suicide. So why is it in my best interest to join you again? I'm not understanding this. This is all I've gotten. So if you see something in these videos, it's because I've put them there for a reason. Because I have addressed this stuff in the real world. I'm tired of having this discussion. So I have done what I've done in the real world, and I've decided to crush it. Because this shit needs to end. These types of people who don't have any facts to support any arguments, who don't have any arguments to support their positions are just bologna sauce. These kind of people, or these people out there, they are living in a bubble. A little plastic bubble that they think they're safe from the rest of the world. Now, unfortunately for bubbles, there's always that one prick who comes along and bursts it. Guess what? It's time. So we're going to be doing something that you have been avoiding in your little bubble. You've avoided things like science, like philosophy, like religion, like ethics, all the pillars of understanding that humanity has generated to try to come to some understanding on how all this works. So if you don't like this and you want to try and prove that you're right, you're not. I'm not going to entertain the notion that you are. So I'm here to destroy you. I'm here to tear down your little bubble. Because this stuff needs to be part of the discussion again. The facts, how this affects everyone else, thought, all of this needs to be part of the discussion again. And again, if you don't like it, tough shit. We're doing this. So either get on board now or not, because your fantasy world is coming to an end. And it's time you either figured out that you're going to be part of the new one or you're going to go under with the old one. Third group of people. These people aren't here for the message. These people tend to think of themselves as clever, as funny, as smart, and they're going to hop on these pages just to piss people off. They're called trolls, and most of you are probably aware that they exist out there. Now, at this point, if you're out here trying to piss people off, you're too late. I'm already here. So, you can take your little fun times and go elsewhere, because I'm not interested. So, move along. I know that I made you promises, or one promise in particular, that if you have questions that I probably have answers. And this is still true. I am a phenomenal jerk. I'm fully aware of that. I've been hearing this for quite some time. It's sunk in at this point. But at the same time, I'm also very impartial. This is how these videos are going to work, because I don't care about any position. I've stepped back and said, whoa, I'm not a part on this group or this group. You're both wrong. Here's the middle path. Here's where we should be at. Now, this impartiality that I've got allows me to come up with some reasonably good advice that nobody bothers to listen to. So if you would like some advice, or you have a question that you'd like answered that you're not going to actually implement in the real world, that's great. You're going to have to find a way to get a hold of me, and unfortunately, I'm not sure how this is going to work. If you have a question, ask it, but understand that I'm horribly busy. I've got a massive message to deliver, and I have to figure out a way to chop it up into single servings for you, and I don't have time to be bothered with ridiculous stuff. So if you have a legitimate question that you think I can answer that might be interesting, then I might answer it one of three ways. I might respond to it in a video, because there are quite a few of them lined up at this point. You might go to the WordPress account, because I have a little bit more leeway on how I can address certain questions, and I don't have so many time constraints and all this other bullshit that Google tacks on to eliminate free speech. But we really want to have free speech, but we just don't want certain free speech. You can't do that. Once you start restricting free speech, the doors are open. You've already opened Pandora's box. But whatever. WordPress allows me to discuss things in a little bit greater length or detail. I try to be thorough, and they look pretty long. So go over there. They might be in some of the readings. Other than that, the odds of me actually directly responding to you are fairly slim, unless the question kind of merits it. And if you're going to ask me something just ridiculous that's not part of the discussion or even relevant, like, oh my gosh, who's his favorite Backstreet Boy? I'm like, Backstreet Boy? That's not part of the discussion. That's not even relevant. Where is that coming from? I don't know. The short one, orange hair, Chucky? Is he one of them? If it's not relevant to the discussion, I'm probably not going to answer it. This isn't Comic-Con, where I answer all the most weird and creepy personal questions that everyone has on the internet. Not interested in that. That's someone else's job. So, at this point, I think I've answered all the questions. I've offered methods by which people can get their questions answered. Okay, so we've got this crap out of the way. This is boring. I don't like this. So let's get to the fun stuff.